it's this whole idea that, independent women are uncooperative, unruly, unwilling to partner, unwilling to submit. And people really have this concept of women who are independent, that they just don't want to partner with a man, that they feel like they don't need a man. And it really bothers a lot of men to the point where they bring submission into the conversation. And I just think that those two topics are unrelated. So men try to say, oh, if a woman is independent, she can't submit. And I just disagree with that entire concept. I think that a lot of men feel threatened, and threatened is a bad word, but threatened by women who are independent for the reason that they feel that, okay, if she doesn't need me financially, she don't need a man. Like, what does she need a man for? But independent women don't need you financially, but want a partner and want to partner and want to combine resources and want to grow together and want to, get to the next level with someone. And most times independent women just have the capability of taking care of themselves. So you want a woman who has an independent mindset, because what happens is you're not going to always be around. You may not always be healthy. You may not always be in a position to provide for your woman. And so if she's solely dependent on you for everything and don't know how to take care of herself, then she can be possibly in a worse situation. So you want a woman who can say, okay, yeah, I can take care of myself. If something happens to my man, I got this. He can trust me to take care of things. I think that people, want to bring this Bible conversation. AJ, you stupid. Independent women and the Bible is not related. And I hate when people try to bring the Bible into that conversation and make independent women feel like they are unruly, uncooperative, unable to partner, won't ever find a man because their mentality is backwards. And a lot of people weaponize the Bible. And God is of love. So if anything, a man who is of God is going to be of love. You're going to feel the love. You're going to feel the warmth. You're going to be comfortable. You're going to understand where he's coming from. And I don't agree with people weaponizing the Bible. And I don't agree with people making independent women or women who feel who can take care of themselves, who in a position where they, feel like they're self-sufficient, making them feel like they are invaluable to men. And I do agree to an extent that independence don't exist, but I'm operating within the framework that's already out there. Boosie got a song. Boosie got a song. Destiny's Child got a song. Neo got a song. We all know what people think independent women are. And those are the models, right? It's in popular culture. That's what we all believe independent women are. So I feel like we do have some reference. It's not like the term don't exist. I cannot believe in it, but it's there. My issue is people pushing for independence, but want to be in a relationship. Nothing about it is independent. Right. The very definition of being in a relationship is being interdependent on each other. So I agree with you. Like, you can't say, oh, I'm independent and you're in a relationship and you're partnering. That's why you don't hear me saying I'm a strong independent, because I'm in a marriage. I'm married. I'm dependent on my husband every day. He takes care of our family. He makes these decisions. He does these things. And I am dependent on him every day. But what I will say is that if I need to, if anything happened, I can take care of our family. I can make sure we're okay, and I think that is all it is that we understand that if we need to, we can jump in and we can take care of ourselves. And we was possibly doing it before we partnered and before we got married. I just think that that it gets a negative connotation when women say they're independent and when women, say that. And I think it's really just to talk about, that separation that had to happen or that did happen, where women kind of went into the workforce and women were not just staying at home and taking care of their families. Women had to go out and provide and bring home the bacon, So I think women started to just pretty much separate and, get into that workforce. And that is why that whole independent emerged. And it's taken on a new form in this new day and age. But it's not necessarily a negative thing. And that's the problem. That's the problem that I have with this podcast and what happened today. And so I was like, I got to get on here and tell them, give further explanation of what I meant and how I felt, Sadly, a lot of Black people are in survival mode and love cannot fully thrive there. I understand. Are we talking about independence solely relating to finances? I mean, for me, Torrance, I feel that independence, when a woman says that she's independent, she's referencing financial things. I have never met a woman who she's saying she independent, meaning that she just don't want a man. More so, in my experience, and correct me if I'm wrong, Torrance, women who say they're independent and think, hey, everybody who joined. Hey, Coach Fitz. Oh my God. My coach is on. I love him so much. He was our dean of our school and in elementary school. And he was like one of the best deans we ever had. And I love him. I'm still, friends with him. But yeah, I think, I was on a podcast earlier, and please follow our podcast, Mr. CYP. It's called Controversially Correct on Instagram. I need to put it actually in my intro so you guys can see it. But Mr. CYP, follow us on Instagram, follow us on YouTube. We do these segments and we talk about all these controversial topics. And today we talked about independent women as it relates to, the negative connotation that's associated with that, with women being independent. And a lot of the people on the podcast attempted to relate it to the Bible. And they referenced submission. And so a lot of the men on the podcast were basically saying that if you're independent, you can't be submissive, and that it was interrelated somehow. And I'm like, why are we confusing independence with submission? Because an independent woman, that doesn't mean that she's uncooperative and unwilling to submit. And in fact, just by the definition, it just means that she's able to provide for herself and take care of herself. And that doesn't mean that she doesn't want to submit to a man. And I think we have this negative connotation associated with being independent, when really it's really just simply saying that we are able to provide and able to take care of ourselves. I love you guys. I don't want to keep preaching about that. I will answer questions. I know that I have a lot of people who are on here who used to follow me when I was on previous podcasts and, have questions for me. But please, please, please ask me anything. I'm willing to talk about it. RJ said, I'm tired of people that aren't living biblically, quoting scripture selectively. Absolutely. That was one of my points, because there's a divine order to this. So if you want a woman to submit to you, you need to submit to God. And a lot of men don't submit to God, and they want a woman to submit to them. But who is she following? Because I have to know that in your heart that you love God and that you are submitting to that man, that you are submitting to that being. And a lot of people, they don't understand that divine order when they talk about submission. Yes. I don't weaponize the Bible. See, that's something that bothers me. You can't ask a woman to submit to you when you're not even making her your wife. You want her to be your baby mama or your girlfriend. You want her living in your apartment as what you cohabitating, but you're not even committing to this woman, and you want her to submit to you. I'm not saying that she have to be married in order to submit. What I'm saying to you is that a woman does not need to submit to you if you can't even commit to her in the way the Bible tells you to commit to her. So that was my only point. And that's the reason why I continue to ask the panel members, like, are you married? Because if you asking women to submit, if you bring in submission into the independent women conversation, I need to know what your marital status is. Because if you bring in Bible quotes and you bring in this into the conversation, then I need to know that you're married, that you have taken that step to commit to a woman before you explain to women that this is what they need to do. Submit only means that, listen, see, this is the bishop. This is the bishop talking. Submission only means listening. And I really, really want Coach Pitt, I really want you to come on and tell people what it means to submit, and what that means for a relationship. Because I know you have insight. He's been married for longer than all of us. And I know he have insight to help us to understand what this truly means. Yes, my wife and I have been together 11 years, and I'm an atheist. She's spiritual. If we can work, anybody can work. And I feel like with you, AJ, you and your wife, like you just have this understanding of partnership and working together, and you guys have just like a beautiful union. And even though I am Christian, I don't condemn you for your beliefs and your experience, because that has nothing to do with me and my experience, but I don't, that's why sometimes, I really want to separate, what we're talking about from what the Bible says, because people try to relate things that are unrelated and all the time.